Mashle is basically what you get when you fuse Black Clover and the writing of ONE. Now, aesthetically, it does very much resemble kind of ONE's shakier artwork and his character design sensibilities. The main character, Mash, he actually looks a lot like a beefed-up Mob from Mob Psycho with his bowl cut and his sleepy eyes and whatnot. And, yeah, kind of like Black Clover, it takes place in a world that is overrun by people with magic. It's a magic-based society. Everyone has magic, but those who are born without magic are murdered because they are considered worthless in this society. However, Mash's adoptive father, he saved Mash as a baby years ago and, raised him in secrecy. And because Mash couldn't use magic, he trained them to be super strong physically. However, one day after Mash goes into the city, he is found out as someone without magic, and so basically magic cops come to execute him. And after, his father kind of stands up to protect him and takes a huge beating to kind of help let him get away, Mash comes in and just beats the crap out of all the magic cops. And then the head magic cop, after seeing just how strong Mash is, gets this great idea to enroll him into magic school so that Mash will become a chosen member of the society, who, a single exceptional student in this school is revered as God's chosen. They're called the Divine Visionary. And so the cop wants basically the cash and prestige would come with the title. So that's why he wants Mash to do this. And in exchange, he will spare Mash and his grandpa. And so to protect his father and his home, Mash agrees to enroll in this magic school. And basically also in the process, he wants to take down, the entire world, this magic society that casts aside people without magic. And basically, in the chapters that have come out after the first chapter, he does just that. He uses his physical strength to pass all the tests and get enrolled in the magic school.
Yeah, so I thought this was pretty alright. I think so far as a comedy manga, how do I put this into words? So, I do think that, the very ONE-esque art hopefully will go a long way towards, adding to the comedy of the series, because I'll say so far that nothing has made me laugh more than the penultimate battle in the first chapter, where the guy tries to throw a magic ball at Mash, and he just kind of
Yeah, he slaps it away. And then he does it again, and Mash also swaps it away. Just the expressions the guy makes is also just hilarious.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? The first time, it's literally something out of One Punch Man, where everything is so intense and really cool, and then it'll immediately devolve into these very plainly, crudely drawn moments to kind of reflect how much the tension has just kind of faded
dissipated
away. Yeah. The second time it happens, I think the specific facial reaction of the guy or whatever, I think really adds to the comedy of that scene, because otherwise I don't think it would have been as funny. I feel the person writing this, I feel knows what they're doing in terms of comedy.
Mm-hmm.
I thought those were the funniest moments so far. Outside of those, the only other very little moment I thought was really funny was when he was doing all of his magic tests, and there's this moment where you think he's using his magic wand to lift up a rock, but he just has his thumb just indented into the rock. They basically draw it in a way where you can't see it. It's an optical illusion kind of thing. So yeah, I don't have much to say on Mashle so far, other than I think moving forward, I think it'll get funnier, hopefully. I think this definitely has the potential to be a pretty good, funny manga.
Yeah. But I also think that one of the series' strengths is that it does have a good heart to it. I think that the emotional core, Mash is a very likable character in terms of, his relationship with his father and how much he cares for him and stands up for him. Like, the connection he and his father have, like, both being people cast off by society and considered worthless, and which is why Wash's father, like, raised Mash. Like, I really enjoyed that, and, you know, Mash standing up to the cops to protect him, and then, like, that being his entire reason to go into school, so, like, to protect his dad. And then the third chapter that comes back when the, like, Dumbledore-like headmaster kind of, like, steals, like, his dad's soul and traps it in his doll and, like, threatens to, like, stab and kill his dad, and, like, Mash, like, pierces his hands on the blade. And he's, like, going to run out, like, the headmaster's, like, endurance. Like, the knife is, like, piercing through his hands, and he's just gonna, like, hold it up until the headmaster, like, gives up. Like, I like the bond Mash has with his dad. In general, like, he's a good-hearted kid, because he also comes back from the girl who betrayed him in the second chapter and helps her out, too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, his reasoning for that is because, like, I would feel bad otherwise. Like, I would have regretted it if I didn't help her. So that's why, even though I risked failing the exam, I went back. So I really enjoy that. I think that he's a very admirable protagonist, and kind of very easy to get behind him.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, I think in general, I'm very ready for something that is basically just a more comedic spin on Black Clover.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, right? Like, I think this concept, I think, has a lot of potential for a lot of good comedy. Like, it's basically like if Asta was just living his normal life in the Clover Kingdom, maybe.
Yeah, it'd be... Mash is kind of Asta without the ambition to be great. All Mash wants is to live a peaceful life, and he's going through this in order to live that life with him and his dad.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's his motivation. It's just very simple, but, like, he's very determined to do it. So it's very easy to get behind him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think in terms of how I feel about it compared to everything else we've gotten so far, like, I like it enough. I think I definitely want to keep reading it, for sure, just to see where it goes. If this series can pull off moments like it did in the first chapter and the second chapter, which I love in the second chapter how the guy running the tests shows off all these, like, really cool magic moves, like pulling up desks and everything. How Mash just keeps heckling him, like, couldn't you have done that earlier? Like, why are you showing off?
Just completely unamused by this guy's posturing.
It's pretty great.
Very more logically minded. Like, you could have been much more efficient if you had just done this all beforehand.
I'm hoping Mashle will be a series I can go to, kind of like with Mitama, where it's like, I can count on this series to give me at least a good laugh every once in a while.
Yeah.